As our focus for today is looking at how much we're ready to adopt the 5G technology. Chinese technology firm Huawei has commenced a 4-day online enlightenment program focusing on the use of technology to fight the coronavirus. The online program, titled Better World Summit, also explains just how to boost the global economy. Huawei says that chief executives of key telecom companies and experts around the world will feature in this program. Huawei's Enlightenment project comes as some Western nations put pressure on the firm over its 5G technology. And still on the focus for today, 5G is the buzzword of the moment, and it's not surprising just why. According to Qualcomm, it's expected to create about 22 million new jobs and contribute a total of $12.3 trillion economic benefit across the globe by the year 2035. As the name suggests, 5G is the fifth generation of mobile networks, promising more speed and lower latency. Beyond performance benefits, it's also set to underpin Industry 4.0, where everything is connected, processed and digitized. So there have been theories linking an adverse effect of this new technology, such as the notion it is responsible for the coronavirus. Yet 5G is currently tricky to pin down, and its full arrival is still a long way off. But one thing is for sure, its impact will affect your business. Well, joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this and much more is the co-founder of Budget, Joseph Agumbiade, to talk about this and a little more. Thank you very much for joining us on the Breakfast Show today.
Thank you.
Now, the 5G will certainly improve the experience of remote working and collaboration, network-related tasks such as online sales or sharing even large files in the cloud will become even faster and more efficient. But now, sorting through the misconceptions we've had home and abroad, how much do we need to do in terms of being familiar and making necessary clarifications in the adoption of this advanced technology?
So, thank you for this question. Very important for us to know is that frequency is something that, in the science world has been around for a long time. It's a knowledge that we're very familiar with. And so in the spectrum of frequencies, we have ionized frequencies and then non-ionized frequencies. So 5G, you have the radio frequency. Just a little beyond the radio frequency, you have the 5G network. It even comes before the visible spectrum, which is the white lights that we have. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And just after that, before you have ultraviolet. So the danger in frequencies starts beyond the violet. You not talk about ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, and all of that. And all of that fall under the category of ionizing frequencies, which is where you should be worried. And so before the visible light, you have the 5G. So you don't need to worry at all in terms of what it can do to you. Just like any other thing, when you eat too much, it can be dangerous to you. If you do whatever too much, it can be dangerous to you. That's what 5G is actually. So it's not necessarily a concern. The reason why for this misconception is because it is a short wavelength, and when you talk about short wavelength, you talk about very high frequencies. So people just heard high frequencies and automatically associated it with danger. But it is a non-ionizing frequency, so we don't have anything to worry about.
Okay, now bringing the conversation back home to Lagos and Nigeria. So this also opens up huge opportunities for the Internet of Things innovation and commercial use, from driverless cars to drones, artificial intelligence, robotics, remote control machinery, and virtual and augmented reality. Now, for us to build a mega city, we have to be smart. And talking about smart, we have to automate all of our processes in our households, at the business front, globally and beyond. What should we be doing now in terms of the adoption, and also still taking an example of making Nigeria an economic hub?
So first thing I must say is that we shouldn't wait any longer as a nation. I think we should jump on it. The first thing that happens is, if you are one of the early adopters of a technology, it means that you become a producer, you become an exporter of all the possibilities that can come with it, including product, hardware and all of that, the devices that we make use of, apart from services. And so when we start adopting it, Lagos State has been pushing the agenda of smart city for a while now, for over a year or two. One of the things that it's going to do is that it's going to save us from a lot of the issues we're having, security issues, accidents, high traffic rate, and a whole lot of those kind of things. As an individual in our homes, Imagine a situation where you can know real time that this is the number of eggs left in your fridge. You don't just get home and get stranded because there is no sufficient eggs in your house and all that. So as we adopt this, it actually makes life easier and better for us. We have VR, we have augmented reality. You go to an amala joint and you can choose bokoto and whatever you like. But when you send somebody to go buy for, you don't really know the options. So imagine an amala person having a live streaming camera that streams to you at real time, because we're talking about like almost negligible latency, So streaming to you, and you can actually point to the particular bokoto that you want and all of that. That is the kind of how the ease that 5G can bring to us. So I don't think we should wait any longer in adopting it.
Well, we'd like to see how first Nigeria adopts this advanced technology, and it's time to also take action. Enough of the talk. Now, in terms of installation, now let's put aside the misconceptions we've had here and there and moving the conversation a little forward in terms of installations and building infrastructure. What's the process like, and how much of an investment is this going to cost Nigeria, for example?
Thank you for that question. I think just like it's slightly different, especially because of the frequency, unlike the 4G, mast that is quite taller because it can travel as far as 16 kilometers. The 5G can just do about 300 meters, which means that we'll need more mast installation. And so if for faster adoption, what we need to do is to do gradual rollout. And so some of the telcos, last year MTN debuted a test of how powerful 5G can be. And so, whichever of the telcos who tries to adopt that very early will actually, gain dominance, in the market. And so what I'm looking at is the possibility of rollout gradually in business districts, locations where we have HNI, because of course with 5G, we'll need 5G devices, and all of that. So businesses, you use it more for business applications, like IoTs and, critical medical, and what's it called now, surgeries and all of that, and all of those kind of cases. So you see the rollout will be gradual. In most of the countries where it has been rolled out, it was gradual. South Korea, United States of America, and all of that. So certain cities take it first and gradually start rolling out. So that's what we do. Lagos State currently has installed, from the beginning of the year till now, I think they laid over 3,000 kilometers of fiber optics. And so where you have more last mile infrastructure, you'll find more rollout happening faster than in other places.
Let's now also talk about building capacity. At the end of the day, we also have to establish ourselves as an economic hub, but we also need the human resource to drive all of this. In terms of training and retraining in this field of technology, where we see advancement almost on a daily basis, it's at the spur of the moment. We are moving out to light years and we're still just not catching up. We can't afford to play catch up at this point in time. In terms of training within the IT space, how much should we also be pushing? Talk about coding and your institute as well.
Okay, so in the last 3 years at university, we've been training a lot more people we see more people come in and say, hey, I want to learn data science, which of course is a precursor to artificial intelligence, which is one of the biggest things in the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is not going to happen, it's happening already. And that is why 5G is very important, because most of the things that we're talking about in the fourth industrial revolution is going to be powered. We need high power, low latency communication, And so in the country, we've been training a lot of young Nigerians, graduates, both with engineering and non-engineering background, in coding. And what we have seen is, amazingly, Nigerians are one of the best in the world. You see them doing very well, even those that work remotely, or even people who eventually migrate out of the country, doing phenomenal well in building smart apps and all of that. The 4G, from 3G, you started having introduction of apps in smartphones and all of that. 4G, you start doing like video live streaming and all of that. With 5G, it's going to be totally immersive, And so we teach people how to write some of these fantastic apps, just like you would have gotten it anywhere in the world. And so more and more young Nigerians, one of the ways to get people out of poverty, I always tell this interesting story of a young man who walked up to me a little over 2 years ago, and he told me he wanted to learn how to code, because he saw the t-shirt I was wearing. He was a secondary school leaver working as a coffee seller in a store. And we trained this guy on how to code, and today When he left us, he worked a little bit with Candela, and now he works for an international company. Secondary school leaver, he earns over $80,000 Canadian dollars remotely. You know, so these are fantastic things that can happen when we invest in coding in the country.
We have to definitely invest heavily in our human resource, and looking at the Internet of Things and how much the 5G will transform the economy, we just can't play catch up. Thank you very much for your contribution on The Breakfast Show today, Joseph Agunbiade, the co-founder of Budget.